Imagine you've just tracked down dinner, but suddenly the sky cracks open and doesn't stop for days. No fire, no sun, everything soaked. Most people picture cozy caves and storytelling by torchlight. Here's the uncomfortable truth. For our ancestors, rain didn't just mean a bad hair day. It was a biological crisis, one that shaped our bodies in ways we still feel every time the forecast turns gray. Most of us think ancient rain meant a forced vacation. But the real story is more brutal and more brilliant. Here's how ancient humans actually made it through a week when the world turned soggy. And why the answers upend everything we assume about health, comfort, and what it means to be human. Let's start with a scene you wouldn't want to wake up in. Your bed is soaked, so is your only tunic. There's no dry wood left for fire. The first crisis, hypothermia. Not starvation, not wild beasts. Most people think of rain as annoying. For ancient humans, it was deadly. Water saps body heat 25 times faster than air. So when the rain wouldn't stop, every hour outside meant burning precious calories just to stay warm. Now, food. You can forget about gathering roots or berries. Most edible plants go limp, wash away, or rot after days of rain. The animals? They're hiding too. Hunting in the rain is a losing game. Scent trails vanish, tracks disappear. So what did ancient humans actually eat during a week like this? Here's the twist almost nobody expects. Leftovers. Ancient humans, for all their cunning, were ultimate scavengers of their own kills. Meat kept in cool, damp conditions would ferment, not rot, if you were lucky. That means they ate food that would turn most modern stomachs. But here's the kicker. Their guts had the microbes to handle it. Modern humans, not so much. So a rainy week was a test, not just of hunting, but of digestive firepower. But let's not pretend this was easy. Old meat runs out fast. Hunger gnaws. Bodies weaken. And that's when the next survival trick kicks in, one most people never guess. Extreme inactivity. Not laziness, but a calculated biological survival response. When calories run low, your body slows, heart rate drops, you shiver less. It's like a mini hibernation, except you're awake, counting the hours. The real danger? Not boredom, but muscle loss. Just a week of inactivity can set you back months in strength. And if you're already malnourished, the clock is ticking fast. So how did people protect themselves? They stacked up. Huddling wasn't just for comfort, it was life or death. Body heat shared can keep core temperature above the danger zone. But there's a catch. Close quarters also meant disease. Respiratory infections love damp, crowded air. In fact, some anthropologists think rainy weeks were prime time for the flu, not just sore throats. So survival meant gambling, freeze apart, or risk getting sick together. And that's not even the weirdest trade-off hidden in our rainy DNA. Here's something nobody expects. Ancient humans lost weight every rainy week, by design. Our ancestors' bodies burned muscle and fat, but they also made more brown fat, special tissue just for cold. Brown fat burns calories to make heat. Modern humans still have it, but most waste it. Every rainy week trained bodies to survive cold stress, not just hunger. And the best part? Those who survived passed these traits on. Rain rewrote our DNA, one miserable soggy night at a time. Flip that around. Our modern discomfort in the rain is a fossil, evolution's ancient warning system. But let's get practical. What about water? It's raining, but you're still thirsty. Clean water was rare. Rain runs off dirty caves, mixes with animal waste. Boiling water? Forget it. No fire, remember? So most drank what they could and risked stomach bugs. Diarrhea was a bigger killer than wolves or bears. Here's what most survival guides miss. The safest water source was often rain caught directly in cupped hands or hollow stones. But catching enough took time and luck. And that's why ancient humans never saw rain as a blessing. It was a gauntlet, a test of everything from your immune system to your patience. Now, let's talk shelter. Not every tribe had cozy caves. Most huddled under branches, animal hides, or even matted grass. Everything leaks eventually. So the real skill was finding the high ground, never the lowest spot where water pooled. Even today, our bodies remember, when it rains, we instinctively seek elevation. But ancient humans also knew to keep moving when the rain let up. You didn't linger. Staying too long in wet ground meant disease, parasites, and foot infections. Trench foot? That's not just for soldiers. It was a Stone Age curse. So every rainy week was a countdown. How many days until you could move, hunt, and warm up again? And here's the most surprising part. Most injuries didn't happen outside, but inside. Crowded, dark shelter meant more falls, cuts, and accidents. So why didn't ancient humans just give up and migrate to sunnier places? The truth. Everywhere had its version of bad weather. There was no escape. What about mental health? Cabin fever didn't start with Netflix. A week trapped inside meant rising stress, short tempers, and sometimes real danger. Anthropologists have found evidence of ancient injuries from fights during long storms. But some groups turned rain into a ritual, telling stories, singing, even painting. These rainy week traditions became the first stress management tools long before yoga. And those rituals still ripple through us. Why do we crave comfort food, blankets, and movies when it pours? It's the echo of ancient biology. Seek warmth, seek stories, wait for the storm to pass. But here's the irony. Our ancestors didn't just survive rainy weeks, they adapted to thrive. Modern humans, we've lost some of those survival tricks. Our guts are weaker, our brown fat shriveled, our tolerance for cold and hunger mostly gone. But our stress rituals, the urge to huddle, snack, and tell stories, are stronger than ever. So next time you grumble about a rainy week, remember, your body is built from the DNA of survivors. The real miracle isn't that ancient humans survived the rain. It's that every rainy week made us tougher, more adaptable, and ironically, more social. That's what your body remembers, even if your umbrella does the work now. But here's the final twist, the one most people never guess. Those weeks of rain didn't just shape biology, they shaped civilization. Every time families huddled, stories grew, bonds formed, and plans were made for sunnier days. So the next time you see rain in the forecast, remember you're living proof of a million-year experiment. And if you're curious what happened when ancient humans faced their other greatest fear, the dark, click here to explore the surprising science behind why we're still afraid of the night.
But wait, before we leave our ancestors shivering in the rain, let's dig deeper into what rain actually did to the human mind.
Modern psychologists have studied weather's impact on mood. Turns out gloomy skies still spike anxiety and lower energy. But for ancient people, this wasn't just a mood swing, it was a survival cue. Rainy weeks may have supercharged our risk detection instincts. Every creak, cough, or shadow felt like a potential threat. This hyper-alertness, ironically, helped groups avoid dangers that boredom could bring, like eating spoiled food or wandering off. And there's a twist. Some of the world's oldest cave art was made during long storms, when venturing out was impossible. Rain didn't just put us in survival mode, it pushed creativity to fill desperate hours. Even now, research shows we're more likely to daydream, doodle, or invent on rainy days. It's as if ancient rainstorms hardwired us to mix caution with bursts of imagination. But let's get even more concrete. What about clothing? Not every group had fancy hides. The first waterproof gear was rudimentary, thick animal skins, layered with fat to repel water, but heavy and stiff. Some groups used bark or woven reeds, but these soaked through quickly, leading to a race to innovate. In fact, the earliest evidence of sewing needles comes from regions with long rainy seasons. Needles didn't just keep clothes together, they let people patch leaks, craft hoods, and make rain hats. The real game changer? Animal sat rubbed into seams, primitive waterproofing, and still used by traditional cultures today. But here's the catch. The smell attracted predators. Hiding from rain meant smelling like bait. So every survival trick came with a price. warmth versus stealth, dryness versus safety. Now, zoom forward. In some cultures, rainy weeks became a time for matchmaking and alliances. Why? Survival odds went up if you were part of a bigger, tighter group. Storms were nature's social glue, forcing cooperation, forging bonds that lasted long after the skies cleared. And those alliances, they often decided who got the best shelter, the choicest leftovers, and sometimes who survived. So every rainy week was an invisible tournament, testing not just bodies, but social skills. And when the sun finally returned, ancient humans emerged leaner, maybe weaker, but always a little wiser and never alone.